You stand at the gate watching the departure board flicker. The name of your flight disappears, an announcement mumbles, and your stomach drops. You can almost feel the cost of the whole trip evaporating. Non-refundable hotels, tours that won't reschedule, and a credit card bill that remembers. The fluorescent light over the gate, the tinny voice on the speaker, the cold metal bench under your knees. That exact feeling is why you need the right policy before anything goes wrong. First, breathe. This is avoidable with a few clear checks you can do at home before you buy a ticket or immediately after you book.
If your flight happens to be canceled or delayed, CompenSair will help you get compensation for the inconvenience and get your money back without wasting time on red tape. Get a refund for your canceled flight right.
Start by deciding what covered means for you. Is your main worry an airline canceled flight, a personal illness, a family emergency, or a work cancellation? Policies are sold for very different risks. Standard trip cancellation covers a narrow list of reasons. Trip interruption covers getting home early, and cancel for any reason, CFAR, can cover discretionary cancellations, but costs more and has tight rules. Check these items before you commit: the covered reasons list, time limits for filing a claim, any required documentation, the refund formula, full cost versus percent, per person cover limits, cancellation deadlines, and whether pre-existing health conditions are excluded. At home, pull up two things: the airline receipt and the full insurance policy wording, not just the marketing summary. Read the cancellation definition and the exclusions. If a policy says it covers unexpected illness, note whether it defines illness precisely, whether a doctor's note is required within 72 hours, and whether COVID or other named diseases are listed. If you think you might need CFAR, check the purchase deadline. Many insurers require CFAR to be bought within 21 days of your initial trip deposit. Also check if CFAR reimburses 100% of costs or only a percentage. Often it reimburses 50.75% of non-refundable costs. Why are these rules written this way? Think of insurance like a public bus route. The fare covers common delays and small risks, but extraordinary detours cost more and need special pricing. Insurers pool premiums to pay predictable losses. When the risk is hard to predict, say you want to cancel for a change of heart, they charge extra and limit eligibility so the pool doesn't lose money. That is why CFAR costs more and why pre-existing conditions or late purchases reduce or void cover. Cost ranges matter and are straightforward. Basic trip cancellation insurance typically costs about 4%, 8% of your non-refundable trip cost. If you add CFAR, expect to pay an additional 20%, 50% on top of that premium, depending on age and trip length. Medical evacuation riders can cost another $20,100 on top, and higher coverage limits raise the premium further. Deductibles, if any, will lower the premium, but increase your out-of-pocket at claim time. Many policies have no deductible for cancellation claims, but do for baggage or medical. If you skip the right coverage and your flight is canceled and you miss prepaid tours and hotels, you could lose 100% of those prepaid amounts. Worst case, a several $1,000 loss if your trip is expensive. Missed flight scenarios are a frequent trap. If the airline cancels and rebooks you on a later flight that still lets you use prepaid services, your claim may be small or non-existent. But if the airline cancels and cannot provide comparable transport within a time window that lets you use a non-refundable tour or cruise embarkation, your insurer will look for proof.
airline cancellation notice, proof you tried to rebook, receipts for prepaid services, and timelines showing you could not make the connection. Not having those documents raises the risk your claim is denied. So what's the cheapest, safest, most practical solution? For most rare flyers, 1. Buy a reputable policy that specifically lists airline cancellation for covered reasons and has a decent limit equal to your trip's prepaid non-refundable cost. 2. If your trip is expensive or involves a cruise or non-refundable tour, add CFAR only if you need the flexibility and you buy it within the vendor's allowed window. Otherwise, use refundable fares and refundable hotels. 3. If you have a premium credit card that offers primary trip cancellation coverage, compare its limits and exclusions. Often the card's protection is helpful, but lower in maximum reimbursement and narrower in covered reasons. 4. Keep all receipts, emails, and the airline's cancellation notices. Scan or take photos immediately and store them in a folder labeled with the trip date. Practical step-by-step at the airport or when a cancellation notice arrives. Take a screenshot of the airline message. Ask the gate agent in writing for the cancellation reason. Keep the rebooking confirmation and call your insurer immediately to verify whether that cancellation reason is covered.
If they ask for specific documents, get them before you leave the airport. Written confirmation, boarding pass with the original flight number, and the new itinerary. Don't assume customer service will sort it. Insurers rely on the documentation you provide. Many useful links can be found in the description. One specific trap to watch for is the CFAR Lite, or marketing claim that sounds like full flexibility, but actually has small windows and percentage reimbursements. Insurers and some agents will advertise "cancel for any reason" headlines. The fine print often requires you to buy within 14 days of deposit, cancel at least 48-72 hours before departure, and it reimburses only up to 75% of non-refundable costs. Another misleading claim comes from some booking sites that say you can add free cancellation while the hotel rate itself is non-refundable after a short window. They make the cancellation option a separate upsell with a high cost and limited refund formula. How to refuse. Ask for the policy number, read the specific paragraph titled "Cancel for any reason" or "Trip cancellation," and say, "Show me the exact percentage and time conditions in writing." If they won't provide it, walk away. Pay with the card that gives you written protection and keep screenshots. A simple analogy helps. Think of ordinary cancellation insurance like roadside assistance on a cheap car. It helps with predictable bumps. CFAR is like a premium car warranty that covers more things, but only if you pay more and follow registration rules. If you skip the premium, you save money, until you have the breakdown and wish you hadn't. A quick checklist to decide. 1. Calculate your non-refundable exposure, airfare, hotels, tours. 2. See if your credit card or airline has any primary protection. Note limits. 3. Compare the basic policy price, 4%, 8%, and the CFAR add-on, another 20%, 50%. 4. Read the exclusions and the claim timeline. 5. Buy within any required window and save everything. Hidden fee to watch for. Many insurers will charge a cancellation fee processing charge or will pay in vouchers instead of cash under certain clauses. Another common misleading practice is that rescheduling fees by the airline are sometimes passed to you unless the insurer explicitly includes airline change fees.
Always confirm whether the policy reimburses the actual vendor refund, credits, or offers vouchers.
To refuse the upsell or the voucher, insist on a cash equivalent reimbursement clause in writing, or pay with a card that reimburses cash if the insurer won't. If an agent pressures you to save money by lowering your coverage limit, politely say no. Lower limits mean you're on the hook if something big goes wrong. Final practical example. Imagine a $5,000 cruise and flight package. Basic insurance at 6% would be $300. Care could add another $600, $1,500. If you skip care and the airline cancels, leaving you unable to board the cruise, you might lose the whole $5,000. If you buy care and meet the timing rules, you might recover $3,750, $5,000, depending on the policy's percentage. Which is cheaper depends on how likely a cancelable event is, your tolerance for loss, and whether you can buy refundable travel instead. If you want a conservative recommendation, for trips under $1,000, consider refundable fares and a basic policy. For $1,000, $3,000 trips add a strong trip cancellation policy and rely on card benefits where the limits are adequate. For trips over $3,000, or if the schedule is immovable, cruise, tour, wedding, strongly consider care bought within the allowed window. Before you click Buy, screenshot the policy summary, download the PDF, and email it to yourself. Note the claim deadline and the required proof items on your calendar. If something happens, act fast. Proof gathered within 72 hours makes approval far more likely. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more clear, practical travel protection advice and like the video so other rare flyers can find it. Thanks for watching and safe travels.